This is the 3D VIEW-MASTER Bible story. In the beginning, the creation of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. VIEW-MASTER Reel 1. The story of creation, picture 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth at first was without form, and it was empty of land or life. Darkness brooded over the deep abyss. But the Spirit of God, the Creator, swept over the face of the waters like a wind. Then God spoke, "Let there be light," he said, and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. He called the light day, and the darkness night. So evening came and morning came, ending the first day of creation. Picture 2. Then God said, "Let there be a firmament of sky, arcing above the earth, to separate the waters above from the waters below." And God made the firmament to divide waters from waters, and it was so. He called the firmament heaven. Thus came evening and morning, ending the second day of creation. Picture 3. God said, "Let the waters below the sky be gathered into one area, so that the dry land may appear." And so it was. God called the dry land earth, and the gathering of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then he said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and trees of every kind that bear fruit with the seed in it." And it was so. And God saw how good it was. Then came evening and morning, ending the third day of creation. Picture 4. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the sky, to separate day from night, and let them shed light upon the earth, and mark the fixed times, the seasons, the days and the years." And so it was. God made two great lights, the sun to govern the day, and the moon to govern the night. He made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament of heaven, to shine upon the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. God saw that it was good. Thus evening came and morning, ending the fourth day of creation. Picture 5. God said, "Let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of heaven." So God created the great sea monsters, and all creatures that live abundantly in the waters, and he made all kinds of birds. God saw that this was good, and he blessed them. "Be fruitful and multiply," he said, "and fill the waters of the seas, and let birds increase on the earth." Then came the evening and the morning, ending the fifth day of creation. Picture 6. God said, "Let the earth bring forth all kinds of living creatures, cattle, creeping things, and wild animals." And it was so. God made the wild beasts and the cattle, and all forms of creeping things, the insects and reptiles, each one according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Picture 7. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, to be the master of all living creatures upon the earth, and in the skies and in the seas." The Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. God created man in the divine image, male and female he created them. And God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase, fill the earth and subdue it. You are masters of the fish and birds and all the animals. I give you every seed-bearing plant and fruit tree for food, and to the animals and birds I give all the green plants for food. And so it was. Evening came and morning, ending the 6th day of creation. Thus heaven and earth were completed with all their mighty throng. On the 7th day, having finished his task, God rested, and he blessed the 7th day. VIEW-MASTER Reel 2, Adam and Eve. Picture 1. God planted a garden in Eden, in the east, and there he made all kinds of trees to grow. Trees that were beautiful and that bore fruit that was good to eat. In the center of the garden he put the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of God, good and evil. Then God took the man he had formed and placed him in the garden to cultivate and care for it. Picture 2. The man, Adam, told his wife, Eve, God has commanded us, you may eat of the fruit of any tree in the garden except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The moment you eat of it, you are doomed to die. Picture 3. The serpent was craftier than any other wild animal that God had made. He asked Eve, did God really forbid you to eat from any of the trees in this garden? We may eat the fruit of any tree, except the one in the middle of the garden, she replied. God has warned us not to eat of it, nor even touch it, or we will die. You certainly will not die, said the serpent. God knows that. As soon as you eat of it, the eyes of your minds will be opened, and you will be like him, knowing what is good and what is evil. Picture 4. Eve looked at the tree and its fruit. How beautiful they were, and the fruit looked good to eat. Besides, if she ate some, it would make her wise. She picked the fruit and ate it. It was delicious. Just then, Adam came along. He found Eve happily lying under the tree, eating fruit which the serpent picked for her. Oh, Adam, do try some of this fruit, cried Eve. The serpent says we won't die if we eat it. Feeling a little guilty, Adam ate the fruit with her. Suddenly, for the first time, they realized that they were naked. So they strung fig leaves together to make garments around their hips. Picture 5. Just then, Adam and Eve heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. They were afraid. Quickly they hid themselves among the leafy trees. God called to Adam, "Where are you?" "I heard you in the garden," said Adam, "and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." "Who told you that you were naked?" demanded God. "Have you eaten of the forbidden tree?" Adam hung his head. "The woman gave me fruit from the tree and I ate it." God asked Eve, "Why did you do such a thing?" "The serpent tricked me," she replied. "Because you have done this," God said to the serpent, "you are cursed from now on. You shall crawl on your belly as long as you live." And to Adam he said, "Because you listened to your wife and disobeyed me, I shall place a curse on the soil. It shall grow thorns and thistles for you. You shall earn your food by the sweat of your face until you die and return to the dust from which you were made." Picture 6. The Lord God made for Adam and Eve garments of skins. Then he drove them out of the beautiful Garden of Eden to till the soil all the rest of their lives. east of Eden, he stationed angels and a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life. Picture 7. Thus Adam and Eve became the first farmers. No longer could they eat the fruits of Eden. All their lives they struggled hard to get food from the soil. VIEW-MASTER Reel 3. Cain and Abel. Picture 1. In due course of time, Eve gave birth to her first child. It was a boy, and she named him Cain, saying, "With the help of the Lord I have brought a man into being." Afterward she had another child, again a boy. She named him Abel. When the boys grew to manhood, Cain became a farmer and Abel a shepherd. Picture 2. One day, Cain and Abel brought offerings to the Lord. Cain brought some grain he had grown, but he had kept back the best for himself. Abel brought his choicest firstborn lambs. God received Abel's offering with favor, because Abel had made a real sacrifice, but he was not pleased with Cain's. Cain was angry and dejected. Then God said to him, "Why are you angry? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if not, beware of sin." Picture 3. After that, Cain hated Abel. He said to his brother, "Let us go out into the field." When they were in the field, Cain attacked Abel with his stone cultivating tool. Again and again he struck him, until Abel lay dead on the ground. Picture 4. As Cain stood with his back to the grave he had hastily dug to hide his brother's body, he heard the voice of God. "Where is your brother, Abel?" Cain crouched in fear, but he spoke defiantly. "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" "What have you done?" said God. "The voice of your brother's blood cries to me from the ground. Now you are accursed, and you shall be banished from the soil that has received your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the ground, it shall not longer yield crops for you. You shall be a fugitive and a restless wanderer on the earth." Picture 5. "My punishment is more than I can bear," said Cain. "You are banishing me from my land and from you, and everyone who sees me will try to kill me." "No," said God. "If anyone kills you, he will be punished 7 times as severely as you." So God put a mark on Cain as a warning to anyone else not to kill him. Picture 6. Then Cain began his lonely wanderings. He left the presence of God and walked toward the east. He would never see his mother and father again. After years of wandering, he reached the land of Nod, east of Eden, and there he settled. Picture 7. In the land of Nod, Cain married. Later his wife gave birth to a son named Enoch. Cain became the founder of a city there, and he named it Enoch after his son. Cain's descendants continued to live in that region. One of them was Lamech, whose 3 sons became famous in history. They were Jabal, the first herdsman who lived in a tent, Jubal, the first musician who played the lyre and pipe, and Tubal-Cain, the first man to forge bronze and iron. We want to add new videos every day, so please subscribe to our channel.
And if you had fun, thumbs up.